Picture this. You're standing on the edge. Below you, the mouth of a volcano. The lava temperature is over 1,000 degrees Celsius. And in your hands, a trash bag. It sounds like an idea that hits you at 3 in the morning and feels like genius. Throw all the world's garbage into a volcano. Fire burns everything. Problem solved. Go to sleep. But physics disagrees with you, and so does logistics. Every year, humanity produces around 2 billion tons of solid waste. 2 billion. That's not just a number, it's an image. If you stacked all that garbage into a single cube, its side would stretch over a kilometer. That cube wouldn't fit inside any city. It would swallow central London and stick up higher than any plane flying over it. And here's the first question that kills the whole idea. Before you've even made it to the volcano, how do you actually get it all there? Let's do the math. 2 billion tons a year is roughly 5.5 million tons every single day. A large cargo ship carries around 200,000 tons. That means 27 ships need to arrive at the volcano every day, just to keep up. Picture that queue. An endless convoy of tankers lining up off the coast of Hawaii, coming from Europe, Asia, the Americas, each one burning thousands of tons of fuel along the way. So to dispose of garbage, we produce a massive wave of emissions just to deliver it. It's like fighting a fire with gasoline, with shipping included. And that's before we get to the land side. Thousands of trucks funneling waste into ports, new roads carved to the volcano's edge, worker settlements to run the whole operation. By this point, the volcano is surrounded by an industrial city, which is itself producing garbage. The logistics of this idea kill it long before the lava gets a chance to burn anything. But let's say we pulled it off. Everything's been delivered. We start throwing. The first thing you'd notice, the trash doesn't disappear instantly. Lava looks like a liquid, but it behaves differently. It's viscous, like extremely hot honey. A garbage bag dropped onto the surface of a lava lake doesn't sink straight away. It sits there, burns, smolders. The plastic starts to melt and release smoke. Thick, black, toxic smoke. This is the moment that breaks the whole idea open. A volcano is not an incinerator. In an industrial waste facility, temperature is controlled, fumes pass through filtration systems, harmful compounds get neutralized. A volcano does none of that. It just burns, and everything that doesn't combust completely goes straight into the atmosphere. Burning plastic releases dioxins and hydrogen chloride. Electronics release mercury, lead, cadmium. Batteries contain lithium, which behaves unpredictably when it meets magma. Metals don't burn at all. They melt, settle, and alter the chemical composition of the lava itself. Above the volcano, a cloud forms. It rises into the stratosphere. The wind carries it across the planet. And now, nature starts responding. Not loudly, not immediately, quietly. The first thing to disappear is the fish around the island. Acid deposits shift the pH of the water, by fractions, barely measurable. But that's enough for the coral. It bleaches. Then it dies. A reef that took thousands of years to build turns into a white graveyard on the ocean floor in just a few seasons. Then the birds go. They fed on the fish. The fish are gone, so the birds leave. The island that was once full of life gradually goes silent. The air starts to carry a faint, acrid sharpness, something children and animals notice first, then people. Respiratory illness rates climb on the nearest islands. A few percent at first, the kind of statistic that's easy to dismiss. Then tens of percent. Toxins accumulate in the soil, in the water, in fish still being caught further from the source. This isn't an explosion, it's slow poisoning. A detective story with no dramatic finale. Just a quiet, methodical collapse of an ecosystem that took millions of years to form. But while all this is happening, the internet has already moved on to something else. About 4 months into the global trash dumping operation, the first vlogger appears on the crater's edge. Full protective gear, orange glow behind him, camera in hand. The video gets 100 million views in a week. A month later, tour operators are offering packages. Volcano Trash Experience, Hawaii. $1,000 and you personally throw your bag into the crater. Ecological catharsis. The Instagram moment of the apocalypse. Meanwhile, at the UN, negotiations are underway. Whose turn is it at the volcano? Europe demands quotas. China proposes a dedicated volcano. The US withdraws from the agreement and declares its volcano a national asset. Small island nations with active volcanoes, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, are suddenly sitting at the table with nuclear powers. Iceland quietly builds a second fleet. Volcanoes become a geopolitical resource. Countries that happen to have suitable craters are abruptly the most strategically valuable on the planet. Officially, this is called international cooperation. Unofficially, a very strange Tuesday in diplomatic history. Now, the worst version. Not to be dramatic, but because logic leads here on its own. Imagine this running at full scale for several years. The constant stream of organics and chemicals gradually alters the lava's composition. Certain compounds behave unpredictably when they meet magma. Explosive gas releases. Kilauea, previously one of the most predictable volcanoes on Earth, starts surprising people. Soot and toxic particles accumulate in the stratosphere and block a fraction of incoming sunlight. Not catastrophically, not like a supervolcano eruption, but enough to reduce agricultural yields by 3 to 5% globally. And 3% at global scale means hundreds of millions of people without enough food. We started with a trash bag. We ended up with a food crisis. The point of no return here isn't a single explosion or a visible catastrophe. It's quiet. It's the moment when the system can no longer recover on its own. Coral doesn't grow back on a human timescale. Toxins in soil don't disappear in a generation. The climate shifts set in motion by years of emissions unfold across decades. Stop. Take a breath. Because here's the thing that actually changes the picture. This thought experiment ran into a wall, not because the idea was stupid from the start, but because it was solving the wrong problem. The question was, where do we put the garbage? But the real question is different. Why is there so much garbage in the first place? A volcano can't solve the waste problem because waste is not a storage problem. It's a production problem. We create things that don't know how to become anything else after we're done with them. A plastic bottle spends 5 minutes as a cup and 400 years as trash. Nature solved this problem a long time ago. Leaves fall and decompose. Animals die and become soil. Every atom in the biosphere circulates endlessly. Nothing disappears. Everything transforms. We invented materials that fall outside that cycle. Plastics, synthetics, complex chemical compounds, they have no way back. And no volcano is going to teach them. So a volcano is just an extremely expensive, extremely toxic, and geopolitically destabilizing way to move the problem from the ground into the air. The real question isn't where to throw it, it's how to bring it back. And if you're curious what happens to the garbage we've already thrown, not into a volcano but into the ocean, that's a completely different story. It's quieter, it's slower, and for exactly that reason, it's far worse.